But I think Joe wants us to talk about the controversy between CM Punk and Jack Perry.
So I'm going to ask a silly question.
Sure.
I didn't watch the pre-show.
I got something quick to say. I'm really pumped up about this controversy. And you know what else gets me this jacked up about life? Oh, man.
Oh,
AJ,
you're
I was
talking
hoping
about
you were gonna
Dubby,
get your
baby. I take it before every show. It gets me amped up, gets me fired up. If I was Billy Gunn, I'd be scissoring everybody, Daddy. That is how great it is. Use the code FANSWORKING on their site. Save 10% by using that, and you'll have so much energy, and it will be jitter-free. You'll love it, baby. And then just write back and tell us thank you for giving you that 10% off.
Go to w.gg, use the code FANSWORKING, get AJ's favorite, the Calio cream. You can get the peach and peach. There's so many flavors, shakers. Go get them there. I don't know if we're as pumped up as CM
Jack
Punk
Perry,
was
CM
when
Punk.
Jack Perry came through that.
So
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, I did not watch the pre-show. I saw the tag match from the pre-show. I didn't see what Jack Perry did. What happened that led to this?
So you may have to go back a couple weeks for this. So apparently, and Joe can correct me on this if I'm wrong with anything, CM Punk had vetoed an idea that Jack Perry wanted to use this spot in a match on Collision a few weeks ago using real glass for a match. And Punk, and along with a few agents, thought, no, that's not a good idea. We don't use real glass.
Why in the hell would you want to use real glass?
That seems to be the big question. Now, in the pre-show, Perry wrestled Hook. They did a spot where Perry had basically put Hook, I believe, actually through the glass. They both went to the glass kind of the windshield. Hook was cut up a little bit. And Perry looked in the camera and said, it's real glass, cry me a river.
All right, so Jack Perry got driven out, and Jim Ross disputed the length of this limo, but it was a limo.
Yes.
They parked it on the stage. They fought. Before they did a spot on the hood of the car, Jack Perry did tap the glass and say, it's real glass, cry me a river. And then went to do a suplex. They reversed it. Jack Perry got suplexed on the glass. It did cut him a little bit. There was a nice rolling thunder on the top of that limo as well.
The story goes, basically, Jack Perry gets into the back, and depending on who you believe, Punk or Jack initiated a verbal conversation. It went something basically like this. Punk, you got something to say to me? And Jack, basically, depending on who you believe, he said, you heard me out there. Or Jack shoved him and said, do something about it. And regardless of who started it, basically the one thing that seems to be pretty consistent was Punk, at this point, put him in a chokehold, and it quickly got broken up. And that's kind of where we are, and both are suspended as of right now, according to sources everywhere.
Well, they're both idiots, because that doesn't need to happen. You're not in a program with each other. You didn't actually do anything to each other other than a couple verbal barbs. There's no reason for that whatsoever. It's unprofessional. CM Punk, now you've been in multiple occasions where you're in pull aparts. You just got back, for Christ's sakes. You have a hot angle going into All Out, which now has nothing. But you've also ruined a spot for Ricky Starks, where now he's got to be in the ring with a 70-year-old man who's only worked once in the last 6 years. So nothing against Ricky Steamboat. We love Ricky Steamboat. This is not the Dragon Ricky Steamboat. This is a Methuselah Ricky Steamboat. This is not the same freaking, for those of you who don't know, Methuselah was a really old man. Sorry to have to educate everybody out there. Look it up, read a book.
Buddhism.
The point behind this is he has no reason to actually be in this match with Ricky Stark other than the fact that CM Punk can't control himself and Jack Perry's a little bitch.
Now, I got to ask you, AJ, because you've been in the wrestling business, so you've been closer to this than we have. If you're CM Punk and you have these people that are habitually stepping over the line with you, what is the best way wrestling-wise to take care of?
Because so the best way to do this is to actually...
would think that maybe it's some kind of physical altercation, like showing them that you're not going to be bullied.
So in 1995, a physical altercation might be fine because there's not going to be everybody recording everything that you're doing and sending it out to the internet every 2 seconds. However, these days, you want to get even with them? Here's what you do. Create an actual storyline, get in the ring with them, and you can give him a receipt that way sometime during the match. That way, at least you're telling a story and selling seats at the same time. What they did sold no seats whatsoever. Jack Perry, first of all, unprofessional to say it's real glass, it's Cry Me a River. First of all, other than the person you're directing it at, nobody has a clue what the hell you're talking about. It does nothing for the storyline that he's in. You're a young talent, Jack. You're supposed to be one of the pillars going forward of this organization, and you just cut one of the pillars out because you showed that you're still a child.
Well, yeah, I gotta ask, what about the face-to-face confrontation in the back where supposedly it was Punk saying, "Do you have something to say?" and Jack Perry responding with, "Do something about it."
Well, and the reason why he said, "Do you have something to say?" and I'm going to be honest with you, wrestling's different. It's not like you're working at fucking Home Depot, pardon my French, and somebody said something to you on the loading dock.
Oh, glass, get over it. It's Home Depot, bro.
Yeah, when you work in professional wrestling, you got a bunch of guys that are jacked up, testosterone's flying. Punk is already getting ready for his match, and now all of a sudden he's got some kid coming back and he's doing live TV and saying things to him that are messages that only are to him, instead of coming back and saying, "Hey, Punk, why did you have a problem with the glass? Can we talk about this?" Instead of handling it like a professional like that, he's actually come to the back now after shooting this spot. I don't blame Punk for being upset. What I blame Punk for is letting it get physical.
Right. Yeah.
First of all, Punk is a trained MMA fighter. Whether he did well or not in MMA,
he's a
trained MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Jack Perry is not a trained MMA fighter. Jack Perry's lucky if he can fight his hairdresser that takes care of his hair.
I was listening to Jim Cornette, and he described the possible choking situation as he described it as the goozle. So basically just Punk grabbing Jack Perry by the neck and jacking him up against the wall. So I guess we have to find out like what happened as time went on.
Right.
The facts are nobody handled this well, but I don't blame Punk necessarily for how he responded.
I don't fully blame either one of them. I blame Tony Khan for the what he's actually set up for backstage, what is reasonable behavior in his company. As a manager, as somebody who has run businesses and has had 120 employees working for me at different times, I can tell you it's all about the culture that you set up in your business.
Also,
Tony Khan has set up this culture and has since said, quite frankly, I'm not sure this is a bad thing. It's a bad thing, Tony. You're wrong.
So you're a professional organization, you're a business. You want to get rid of this stuff. We'll close on this because I know we're taking a while here. Yeah. But basically, I think they said it on the Cornette podcast too. Jack Perry, you're a mid-card talent. All right. Back in the old day, if you had done something like this, you said something snide like this to Hogan, you would have probably been fired. It just would have been fired. It wouldn't happen. As for Punk, the situation with Punk, I don't blame him. I understand him. But you are at fault because given the situation that you've put yourself in, you need to de-escalate the situation. You need to back away. Throwing a guy in a chokehold and asking if you got something. As soon as he comes back and you ask him if he's got something to say to you, bro, just walk away.
I just want you to imagine something real quick. Okay. Imagine Shelton Benjamin, and we love Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin has had enough and decides he's going to say something directly to Roman Reigns into that camera lens. What do you think happens when he comes back through that curtain?
It's fired. It's done.
Yeah, he's never going to see Roman Reigns. Yeah, he's never going to see Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns isn't going to come to him and say something. He's going to see Triple H as he comes through that curtain, and he's going to be going to get his bags and take his car ride home.
Right. He's like, I got to deal with this. And they're going to go, absolutely not.
Well, I got to admit, I'm a little weirded out now that my management style seems to match CM Punk's a little bit. But before we move on to the last segment of the day, I want to mention that on YouTube, we are so close to 2,500 subscribers. So if you are watching this right now, chances are you are not a subscriber. Click the subscribe button if you just want to catch more of this. It does so much for us as a podcast, especially if you share this video. But just help us get over 25, and we're hoping to get on to 55 after that. We are big wrestling fans.
If you go on there and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, I will do a special video once we get to 2,500 explaining to you who Methuselah is.
Ooh. Now, everybody is on the edge of their seats for that. And I have to admit that as much as did we even talk about All Out yet?
Not really.